In the ancient Mahabharata mythos, the final graduation test for a class of royal students was an unprovoked declaration of war. The royal princes of Hastina, the Pandavas and the Kurawas, have just completed 5 grueling years of military training. Their instructor is the legendary weapons master Resi Druna. This map shows the borders of 2 allied nations, Hastina and Pancala. To graduate, Druna orders the princes to march their forces into the neighboring kingdom, breach the capital, and capture King Drupada alive. In the halls of Hastina, politicians frame this invasion as a practical evaluation. It is a chance to see which prince possesses the tactical grit needed to eventually inherit the throne. But Resi Druna is indifferent to the line of succession. He is manipulating the state's military resources to settle a private, decades-old grudge against the Pancala king. These students are unaware they have become pawns. They are highly trained weapons, aimed and fired by an educator who has masked his own malice as a test of loyalty. The initial invasion unfolds in 2 waves. The Kurawa brothers lead the first charge, sprinting directly into the heart of the Panchala defenses. The defense holds. Panchala's military commander systematically overpowers the Kurawa princes, taking them as prisoners before they can even reach the palace. The 5 Pandawa brothers formed a second wave. They harbor a deep respect for King Drupada, but in their world, a student's absolute duty to their teacher overrides their personal morality. The star pupil, Arjuna, breaks through the line and engages King Drupada in single combat. The younger warrior exhausts the king and physically binds him with a simple cloth sash. The capture is complete. International alliances and basic logic have been erased by the master-student hierarchy, leaving a sovereign king in chains. King Drupada is dragged into his own throne room to find Master Druna sitting on the royal seat. Decades earlier, these two were childhood best friends. They shared everything, and a young Drupada promised that when he eventually took the throne, he would split his royal wealth in half with his friend. Years later, an impoverished Druna visited the newly crowned King Drupada. He asked the king to honor that old childhood promise by giving him a single cow to feed his family. Drupada, now a king, mocked the beggar at his feet. He allowed his guards to beat Druna until he was physically disfigured, then threw him out of the palace. This map of the unified Pancala kingdom shows the scale of Druna's revenge. To satisfy his wounded pride, he annexes the entire northern half of the territory as his own personal property. Stripped of his capital, Drupada is banished to rule over the shrinking southern remnants of his own kingdom. A childhood promise and a bruised ego managed to fracture a regional superpower. To do it, Druna used a generation of manipulated students as his sledgehammer. In his southern exile, Drupada faces a total collapse of his legacy. His wife is barren, leaving him with no heirs to carry on his name or avenge his stolen honor. Watching his kingdom vanish, Drupada traces Druna's power back to its source, not magic or martial arts, but his fiercely loyal students. To defeat the master, he would have to build an equal weapon. Drupada retreats into the forest to perform an intense fire ritual, a magical ceremony designed to manifest an heir from the flames themselves. The ritual produces 3 adult children, including a son named Raden Drestajumena, who emerges from the fire ready for war. Faced with a barren lineage, King Drupada has forged a living weapon directly out of raw, vengeful magic. Rather than handing his new son a blade and ordering an immediate assassination, Drupada chooses a much more calculated path. Drupada walks to the gates of Druna's academy, offering a handshake and a fake smile, pretending he finally wants to make peace. He then presents the ultimate trap. Drupada asks Master Druna to take his fireborn son on as a new student. Druna's ego blinds him. He accepts the boy, agreeing to personally train the very warrior destined to kill him in the years to come. A petty insult birthed a proxy war, and that proxy war birthed a proxy student. In the Mahabharata, vengeance is a loop where the teacher eventually becomes the target.